Hello everybody. Today I'm gonna be making a quick video, or I hope it is, about lolly. Right. This is a pretty controversial topic, one of the most in the entirety of like this anime and gacha space, where there's always people who obviously can't agree. Right, there's one side of people who just absolutely cannot stand lolly characters. They think anybody who enjoys them or, just doesn't say anything about it is incredibly weird or disgusting, and they themselves take a stand on it. And then you have other people who either don't care or they actually like lolly characters in games or media. Right? Now, I recently got reminded about this topic because another HSRCC kinda named Kekvin made a video just recently talking about ZZZ's new patch, Sunna, and the skin that she has, right? The Angels of Delusion, they are basically all lolly characters, right? And he basically makes the entire video about how much he hates lollies, how much he finds them disgusting, yada yada yada, right? It's literally the same arguments you see spread by everywhere. Oh, if you like these lollies, you're probably like a hidden predator, right? Shit like that. And I think it is completely fine for people to have their preferences, okay? If someone thinks that the lolly body type or characters in general, maybe the common tropes that are consistent in these types of characters, and they don't fuck with that, I'm not going to say anything, right? Like, everybody has their own preference. However, once you start getting to the point of accusing other people of genuinely being predators over shit, that is when you cross a line, okay? This is the exact same argument idiots used back in the early 2000s to tell their kids they'd become school shooters if they played shooting games for too long, because you get addicted, you get the high of fucking ramming through people in GTA, and then you become like that yourself in real life. Now, how has this outlook on gaming translating to real life behavior changed? Well, it's changed to, oh, if someone does learn or become attracted towards this behavior in real life after seeing it in a game, they are mentally ill and they do not represent a majority of the people, right? Now, people are using this for anime girls, and basically it's just the rehashed version of this, right? You are not a predator or a pedophile for liking certain lollies in anime or gacha. They just don't look human. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe other people struggle more to differentiate between reality and fiction, and so obviously it may be more disgusting to them, right? However, for those who don't have this issue, it just doesn't make sense to any of us why others try to throw their own issues onto us, their own mental problems of being able to separate this shit onto other people, right? And the last thing I want to cover here, right? If you are so against lollies, you think most people who like lollies, if not all, are likely closeted predators. They just, goon to lollies in gacha and as well as anime for other reasons, right? Very dark reasons. Why the fuck are you a CC for this company? Why do you make content and money off of a company whose games implement this shit? You cannot say, oh, it's ZZZ. I don't even play ZZZ, so it ain't the same. This game has lolly as well. In fact, for most people, Sparkle is a lolly. Right? You have an E6 Sparkle, bro. She's like one of your favorite characters in the entirety of this game. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's so hard to say no hate because you are genuinely trying to push the agenda that people who are into lollies are just closeted predators, which is a fucking insane accusation. But at the same time, I genuinely don't want this guy to get the most hate. I want him to come around and realize this shit. Why are you making videos on a company who you think the devs are likely predators who put lollies into these games on purpose to attract a certain dark audience to you, why do you keep making videos on this goddamn company, on their games, right? Like, Yun Li is also there. Yun Li literally has her bare feet out in her ult. It zooms in on her feet, right? It's the same on her drip market. Clara is completely bare feet. It also zooms in on her feet for a few of her animations, right? HSR might not make it as obvious as ZZZ, because ZZZ seems to be the game where they have the most freedom with this shit. However, it still applies nonetheless, right? And it's not like this only applies to Hoyo games either. Like, for example, I think Kekvin maybe slightly plays Wuwa. Like, Wuwa has Yohu. Yohu is the most lolly brat type character I've seen in any of the gachas I've ever played, right? So it's not just something specific to this. Why are you even making content about games made by what you think are predators, supporting them, advertising their game, and allowing them to make more money? Make this shit make sense. Once again, there is absolutely nothing wrong if you yourself aren't into lollies, right? This shit is normal. I'm sure most people are into like a thick, fully grown woman. I mean, Mirko got me acting unwise from My Hero Academia, right? However, you should not push your own agenda of everybody's a predator because they like certain lollies in gachas or in anime. In my opinion, right, as someone who has no problem with this lolicon shit, and in fact, I can like it sometimes. Personally, I've talked about this before. I don't like the Angels of Delusion that much in ZZZ, right? I just don't. Right, this is normal. I don't like every single character, no matter what archetype of a character they may fit. However, this does not make other people predators, man. This shit ain't real, right? You aren't going to become a killer from playing Call of Duty 24/7 and fucking shitting on people 99% of the time, unless you're one of the very few with a mental illness who genuinely takes that shit to real life. And once again, I'll bring up what I said at the beginning. That is a mental illness, right? No matter across all media or games, there will be people who take shit too far into real life. And those people are always treated as people with mental illness. They aren't treated or generalized, right? Or used to generalize a certain fan base of people. For some reason, people only do this, or mainly only do this, when it comes to lolicons, because it's literally free engagement. Right, you can engagement farm lolicons across all social media because most people pretend that they really hate lollies just to look better towards a favorable audience, right? Like, the amount of times I've seen people openly hate lolicons, make posts about how bad they are, how they're probably predatory people, and then they end up getting outed for genuine IRL predator shit. Like, it happens so goddamn often. More often than not, it's probably someone projecting when they take it incredibly far to the point of generalizing an entire fan base of people as those predators, right? So that's all I want to talk about. I feel like you need to be fucking careful when you are on the low, or maybe even on the high, of accusing other people of being predators. And you have zero fucking right if you truly believe that the devs of some of these games are creating these characters on purpose to attract real life predators. You have no right to criticize other people. When you are supporting their games, you are a CC for their game and making money off of their games. Okay? Understand this. How do people not understand this is absolutely fucking beyond me, right? Love you all. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Peace out.